kahit ba naka-low carb or fasting na kayo, ay hindi pa rin kayo parang gumagaling? Totally, kahit pa meron ng improvement, pero overall, hindi pa rin ganon kaganda ng takbo ng inyong katawan, yung inyong kalusugan. Sa mga gustong mag-weight loss, until now, hindi pa rin tama yung inyong weight, yung inyong BMI is still on the upper range. At para naman sa mga gustong mag-weight gain, mag-muscle gain, nahihirapan din magkaroon ng weight gain. And now, we have to look at one other aspect of health na parati nating nakakalitaan. And that is sleep. Because sleep o yung pagtulog is sobra-sobrang importante po yan when it comes to our health. Yes, food and fasting is very essential kasama ng iba like sun exposure, exercise, alam na natin yon. Pero yung tulog talaga, hindi natin na-emphasize ng mabuti kung gaano talaga ito kaimportante. There are research that is showing many times over. This is already like a proven fact. Ang mga taong maiksi yung tulog, yung overall na lifespan nila is also maiksi din. So there is a correlation, a direct relationship between length of sleep and also overall health. Merong iba na very energetic, parating may activity, nagma-marathon, nagta-triathlon, and also eating very healthy. And all of the sudden, nagkakaroon ng heart attack, nagkakaroon ng cardiovascular disease, and pagkakaroon ng cancer. One other common manifestations would be dementia, yung pagkakaroon ng problema sa memory, sa ating memorya na usually we already attribute to old age, to Alzheimer's, but these are just manifestations of poor health from the inside. And yung number one na kailangan nating malaman is yung katawan natin actually, meron siyang kanyang sariling doktor. Alam niya kung paano pagalingin yung kanyang mga problema, yung kanyang mga metabolic na mga inconsistencies, it can all be addressed. However, hindi ito magagawa ng ating inner doctor, yung ating doktor deep within us, yung natural healer natin na nasa sa atin, if hindi natin ito bibigyan ng pagkakataon na gawin yung kanyang trabaho. At yung repair and healing mechanism na yon ay nangyayari sa ating pagtulog. Our sleep is not just about relaxation. Hindi lang siya nakakapagpa-relax ng muscle, nakakakuha ng sakit sa katawan, hindi lang siya wala ng sakit sa ulo, o di kaya pagkaka-cure from puyat. No, sleep, yung pagtulog natin is way more than that. It is very much essential na kailangan talaga natin itong ilagay sa ating priority. Pwede natin yan ilagay sa ating planner, just like how we want to schedule our things to do, na yung mga kailangan natin gawin, yung mga priorities natin. Sleep is so important na dapat nandyan yan every day. By research, kailangan we accomplish sleep more than 6 to 7 hours a day. In a week time, pagkakaroon ng tulog na kulang sa 6 na oras will already disrupt your metabolism, your system on that day. So magre-reset ka na naman. The best reset that you can do if you feel like you are in need of metabolic reset, if you need healing, is to get sleep. But of course, hindi naman ganon kadali yun, especially na for the longest time na may mga problema sa pagtulog. So today, I will share with you 12 tips galing sa National Institute of Health na research kung paano pahabain yung ating tulog, the quality of sleep, and also the most important thing, the healing that we can get from sleep through natural ways. Hindi kailangan magkaroon ng supplements. Although there are supplements that are okay, there are supplements na makakatulong, but it is best to maximize first yung 12 tips na ito. This is from the book that I'm currently reading now, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. And on the last part lang, skip na tayo sa tips on how to get better sleep, how to have healthy sleep. So, number 1, okay, ready na ba yung mga listahan? So, number 1, for 12 tips for healthy sleep is to have a sleep schedule. So, dapat regular yung pattern. Kung meron kayong trabaho na nagiging irregular, at least somewhat, you will stick on that time na you have this routine na dun kayo natutulog. So, don't worry if ever nag-iiba yung inyong work schedule ninyo. Marami pa namang ibang paraan to still have that sleep hygiene routine so that makakaroon pa rin kayo ng restful sleep. Pero for those who are having regular work or are in control of their sleeping schedule, then it is better to have a sleeping time na routine. So if it's at 10 to 11 or 11 to 12, try to make sure na bago pa yung oras na yon, your mindset is already ready for sleep. So that's tip number one. Number two would be exercise. Exercise is good, but try to save your exercise in the morning or during daytime kapag kayo ay pinaka-active. If hindi talaga maiwasan that na you only have time to exercise sa gabi na, try to make it a light exercise only. But it is best na kung pwede, yung exercise ninyo, yung physical activity ninyo, yung inyong mga task na involves exertion of effort, nagkakaroon ng pagpapawis, and then you become active, you surge up your adrenaline, try to put that on daytime, yung morning time, or kung kailan kayo pinaka-active, or afternoon, pwede rin. But try to have a gap, maybe 2 to 4 hours before your sleeping schedule para ma-cool down kayo because it's important that your body is in relaxed state before you sleep. So tip number three, avoid caffeine and nicotine. These are uppers, nakakapagpa-excite, nakakapag-increase ng inyong heart rate, and it can also become stimulants. So if you smoke, which is alam natin walang metabolic benefit yan, walang healthful benefit yan, but if you choose to smoke, try to take them during daytime as well. Kung pwede, half the day, earlier, on the earlier half of the day. So including your coffee. I know may mga taong nagsasabing they can sleep even if they take coffee, but it's not just about sleeping. It is the quality of sleep. Yung quality sleep is the REM stage or the random eye movement stage na kung saan yun yung pinaka-peak ng pagtulog na yung repair na nangyayari sa katawan natin ay nangyayari. So even if you say na nakakatulog kayo even with coffee, but it might not be the best kind of sleep, the best kind of healing na kailangan ninyo. That is probably the reason why until now, meron pa rin health issues, meron pa rin metabolic problems, or pagkagising nyo sa umaga, hindi pa rin kayo well-rested yung inyong pakiramdam. So when it comes to caffeine and nicotine, so smoking and coffee, try to take them half the day, earlier half the day. So maybe before 12 noon, or kung may palugit pa until 1 o'clock, 1 in the afternoon, or 8 to 10 hours before your sleeping period. So kung matutulog kayo ng 10, so yung last na coffee intake ninyo or nicotine or cigarette intake ninyo would be around 2 o'clock. Kung matutulog kayo ng 11, so maybe you can extend it to 3 o'clock. But try to limit them as early as possible because hindi naman talaga sila essential. They are just optional. Hindi sila importante sa ating kalusugan. And number 4 would be avoid alcoholic drinks before bed. I understand marami dyan a glass of wine before sleeping or isang shot of hard drinks or isang glass of beer bago matulog kasi nga nakaka-relax sa kanila. Yes, it can make you feel relaxed, it can make you feel sleepy, but just like the other effects of caffeine and other activities na nakaka-disrupt ng sleep, even if temporarily para kang nare-relax, but it is not providing you with that restful na sleep na kailangan ninyo. So, in the middle of the night, kung kayo ay umiinom, you can actually experience na kapag nawala na yung effect ng alcohol, you actually hindi na rin kayo makarecover ng inyong sleeping. So that is why importante that we really improve on our sleep because yung lack of sleep is linked into overeating, unhealthy eating, and also pagkakaroon din ng disruption o pagkasira ng metabolism when it comes to glucose. Meron ngang research na ang isang taong kulang sa tulog and then nagpa-laboratory siya na kulang siya sa tulog, pwede siyang ma-diagnose as pre-diabetic. So, there is actually a sudden shoot up. Bigla-biglang nag-shoot up yung blood sugar kapag kulang tayo sa tulog. And that is why it is important to improve our sleep. And also, one way to really get to appreciate sleep is its importance in cardiovascular health. Kapag kulang sa tulog, it is also linked into sudden cardiac death sudden cardiac na problems, pagkakaroon ng stroke, pagkakaroon ng heart attack, and atherosclerosis. Yung pagbe-build up ng plaque is also increased for those people who are lacking sleep. So, kailangan i-appreciate natin yung ating sleep. Tingnan natin, baka naaano yung ating, let's try to change okay naman yung internet natin, no? Sige. So, moving forward, number 5. So, avoid large meals and drinks before sleeping. Why we should avoid this? Because kapag pinupuno natin yung ating tiyan at pinupuno natin yung ating katawan ng pagkain and drinks before sleeping, yes, meron ngang food coma, yung kapag busog na busog ka, ay pagod na pagod ka after, gusto mo na matulog agad. Yes, that can induce some degree of sleep, but again, it's not a quality sleep. Kasi during that time, yung blood flow mo, instead of magfo-focus siya sa pag-repair ng inyong katawan, pag-replenish ng mga needed hormones na kailangan gawin, hindi niya yun magagawa. Kasi nga, busy siya sa pag-digest ng inyong pagkain at ininom nyo bago matulog. That's why, importante na we should give ourselves a break before sleeping, 2 to 4 hours. Yung 2, sobrang layo na yon. Kung ako nga, I usually have my last meal 4 to 6 hours before my eating window. May mga panahon, just like last night, hindi maiwasan, merong work dinner na late night nang matapos. So, I ate late, but that was only exemption rather than the rule. Nangyayari lang yan sa akin once a month at most siguro. And the next time around, as much as possible, I eat 6 hours before my bedtime. Because when I sleep, I want to make sure na yung focus ko ng aking pangangatawan, ng aking energy, ng aking blood flow, all the energy in my system is focusing on repair and relaxation. That's why hindi kayo mangangayayat, hindi kayo magiging sakitan tingnan even if you are fasting for 24 hours, for 36 hours, even if hindi kayo kumakain ng carbs, hindi kayo magiging butot balat. Your body will just normalize in its normal, efficient weight set point sa tamang timbang na kung saan siya magpa-function optimally depending on your needs. And that can happen with the right amount of sleep. We are actually celebrating World Sleep Day this April. I think it's April 19. So that's why we are putting emphasis on sleep. Aside from that, all year round, hindi dahil World Sleep Day, ngayon, hindi doon na tayo magsa-stop na mag-emphasize on sleeping. No, sleep is very essential. It is as essential as breathing, paghinga. So, number 5, if possible, i-avoid din yung mga gamot na nakaka-disrupt ng sleep. So, try to talk to your doctors. Kung meron kayong iniinom na gamot, kung pwede nyo ba ito ma-move as earlier as possible. Kung pwede, wag nang masyadong late night. Because late night medicine can still, again, pwede siyang kumuha ng mga resources ninyo na supposedly for healing, but that will already lead into the division ng inyong energy for healing at mapupunta na lang sa ating pag-digest or pag-process ng mga gamot na yon. So try to talk to your doctor, and as much as possible, since we are looking into natural ways to sleep, although there are other sleep supplements na nakakatulong sa pagtulog, but these 12 tips, we try to maximize first because as much as possible, gusto natin yung natural way of healing. And then, number 7, I know maraming mahilig sa naps, siesta, pagkakaroon ng mga afternoon naps, power naps. I also love power naps, but merong but yan. Avoid power naps after 3 o'clock in the afternoon or roughly 6 to 8 hours before kayo dapat matulog. So, kung plano nyo matulog ng 10, 9, 10, 11, try to make sure na kapag nag-afternoon nap kayo, nagsisiesta kayo, you do it earlier than 3 o'clock. Because if you take a nap at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, then pwede nang ma-disrupt yung inyong pagtulog at baka mahirapan na kayong magtulog ulit. And also, part of this, if you sleep like 8 o'clock, which is way too early, so it's actually expected din na magigising talaga kayo in the middle of the night, natulog yung lahat at ikaw na lang yung gising and you feel so bad na bakit gising ka at hindi ka makatulog. And it's because you actually slept during the time na parang hindi siya dapat pantulog. When you are still supposedly active at gising pa. So, number 8, relax before going to bed. So, try to do something relaxing. Yung hindi nakakapagpa-raise ng inyong heart rate. So, you can listen to nice music or pwede kayong manood ng movie na yung mellow lang, yung mga boring, or yung mga love story, yung hindi sobrang emotional, hindi sobrang exciting. So that yung inyong pagkakaroon ng relaxing mood will already be set. And one way also is to read books. So yung book na ito, sabi ng author, if nakatulog daw kayo while reading this, hindi siya maiinsulto because he is already happy. And it's also good na whatever you read before you fall asleep, you will actually tend to remember more. Mas maaalala nyo sila. So that's why sa mga estudyante dyan o sa mga kahit sino na gustong mayroong pinag-aaralan, don't feel bad if nakatulog kayo while trying to study. It's actually very good because yung mga last na nabasa ninyo, unconsciously, you will retain it. It's so amazing. So, yung ginagawa ko, yung meron akong mga pampatulog na books that I just binge read. Pinabasa ko sila when I want to sleep that moment on kapag nahihirapan ako matulog. So, relax before bed. So, number 9, take take a hot bath before sleeping. So, it's I think this is also different, no? Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, mainit na eh. So, taking a hot bath will actually relax you. And you can actually feel the coolness afterwards. Pero kung mainit na dito, like dito sa Pilipinas, a cold bath is actually good. Pero yung whether it's regardless it's hot or cold, the important part is that you have a comfortable temperature when you sleep. Hindi tayo makakatulog if it's sobrang init or if it is sobrang lamig. So tayo sa Pilipinas, we are usually used to taking a cold bath, cold shower, cold bath before going to sleep para malamig. And if it's already cool, if it's already malamig, mas nakakatulog tayo. And of course, sa mga nasa cold countries naman, so a hot shower, a hot bath naman to neutralize naman the cold weather is already good. So the key component here is to have a comfortable temperature for you to sleep. Okay, so number 10 na tayo. Dark bedroom, cool bedroom, gadget-free bedroom. So, I think ako, medyo guilty ako dito because I usually talk to my loved ones before going to sleep. I say my good night, we talk over the phone. So, usually, medyo may exposure to gadgets. But, it is better na kapag ginagawa yan, just try to do, ano na lang, just audio call. Wala nang video. Kung magbe-video man, I usually set my phone yung sa night mode, yung walang blue light, yung naka-warm yellow light lang, or you put it at very minimal, yung halos wala na siyang ini-emit na blue light so that your exposure to blue light to your eyes ay malilimit din, and that limitation to blue light exposure will also help you regulate your sleep. So, gadget-free, kung pwede, 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, especially kung meron kayong problema sa tulog. Kasi ako, wala naman talaga akong problema sa tulog. That's why I have gadget beside me. But before I sleep, I try to make sure na malayo sila sa akin. So, I put my phone nasa paa ko or away from my bed so that wala akong gadget near my brain. There is a study na kapag ikaw ay parating exposed or in close proximity sa gadgets, we know our gadgets are emitting mga kung ano-anong connections, di ba? So it can actually disrupt our brain as well. So try to put them away. Ipalayo mo sila muna. Okay? So number 11, have the right sunlight exposure. So I think I've emphasized this many times na importante talaga yung sun exposure. Melatonin is essential. Lahat ng 10 tips na yon, it's promoting melatonin at night. But sun exposure is promoting the right kind of melatonin from our cells, hindi nanggagaling sa pineal gland. Yung pineal gland natin, nasa center of our brain yan, that is inducing sleep. But melatonin is important in our repair mechanism in our body, and it is the one activated by sunlight, yung melatonin na nanggagaling sa ating cells, sa ating mitochondria. So the melatonin there is activated with sun exposure. That's why sun exposure is very important, especially during daytime. So if it's peak in the day, like 12 noon, 8 minutes is already okay. If earlier or a little later than that, then it could be just 10, 15 minutes. Hindi naman kailangan magsunog tayo. So just the right amount of sun exposure for you to regulate that night and day pattern sa ating katawan. That is circadian rhythm. And lastly, eto, pinaka-importante, don't lie in bed awake. Kung nakahiga na kayo for 20 minutes at hindi pa rin kayo makatulog, huwag nyo nang pilitin. Try to get up, move around, and do something relaxing. Baka hindi nyo nagawa yung iba. Baka kulang kayo sa ligo, o pampalamig, o pampa-warm if malamig sa inyo. Or you can do the relaxing activities like listening to music, yung music na nakakapagpa-relax sa inyo. Meron akong kilala, yung gustong-gusto niya umiyak bago matulog. So, nag-listen siya to love songs na nare-recall niya yung past at umiiyak siya, or nanonood siya ng mga tearjerker movies, yung mga nagpapaiyak talaga, and after that, she will have a good night's sleep. Hindi naman yun araw-araw, but she said she's always asking kung anong mga movies yung nakakapagpaiyak. And there are times, like maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month or once every 3 months or so, nanonood siya niyan just to release the emotions kahit wala naman siyang problema. And so she will feel relaxed and she will have that metabolic reset from sleep. And also, one mindset para sa mga nahihirapan magtulog. Remember, if you keep on thinking na gusto kong matulog, sometimes that mindset will cause you even more stress. Mas nakaka-stress yan. So, there is meron yung, nakalimutan ko yung term, but there is this one term na parang you counter your intuition, counterintuitive na talking to your brain, na instead of trying to sleep, try mo this time, ayoko matulog, hindi ako dapat makatulog. And when you keep on telling that to yourself, para siyang magic na kung kailan mo siya gustong gisingin, dun pa siya mas magkakaroon ng relaxation at dun ka na nga magiging antukin. Dun ka na aantukin and you will feel sleepy and you will feel relaxed. So, sometimes, yung stress na binibigay natin sa ating katawan, it's just in our mind. So sometimes, instead of the fears of not getting sleep, for example, ang ipapadominate natin, we can try to counter. Parang i-reverse psych natin yung ating sarili, and you will see that maybe can be the trick that you need. So yun, maiksing tulog, maiksing buhay, and we don't want that. We want longer life, and we can start by making sure na ating tulog ay longer din. So cheers to long life, cheers to long sleep, and I hope I will see you in my dreams. Maraming salamat po, everyone. Meron pa akong, I think makakapag-gym pa ako bago mag-work. I'll see you again in our next video. Remember to always stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye!